Wait.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up. Okay, they got go.
Party up.
Time to wake up. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, Crypto Banter fam. You're watching the Sheldon Show, 6 a.m. EST. If you're new to our family, welcome. This is the happiest place to be on a Friday after a positive week. The big question today is, with the point of max pain at 38,600 and $1.4 billion worth of options expiring at exactly that price, what happens after the options close? Are we going back up to above 40 grand, or are we going down again? Who knows? Well, we know. And that's what we're going to tell you here today. Let's get the gang on the stream. Just quickly before we get there, if you're new to our channel, welcome. Where the hell have you been? But you're finally here, and that's what counts. Subscribe to our channel, join the family. There's lots of fun, happiness, positivity, great vibes. This is the Banter fam. And there are also many giveaways. So get this, Monday launches Crypto School. 2 weeks after that, we launched Sniper School. What is Crypto School? Crypto School is the place for beginners. It's the place where people who've never bought a Bitcoin go. 2 weeks after that, we're going to launch Sniper School, and that is where we teach you guys to make the best trades in the world. I'm so excited. It's all free. Everything's free. Everything at Crypto Banter is free. You know what else is free? I'll tell you what else is free. When we get to 5,000 likes, bang, 9935. 9935 is free. All right, so people are talking in the comments about Binance. Yes, some more bad news. They did get there was something that happened with the Malaysian government where they've asked Binance to cease operations in Malaysia. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about many other things on the later show, because this is a charting show. This is about trends. And when I looked at Sheldon's chart this morning, I can tell you that his chart was, look at that. No, hold on a second. This is exactly
as I have been predicting.
It's exactly as Sheldon has been predicting.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We also have Double Your Money Man Cheds and Double Your Money Man Rudo online.
Bouncy Bounce, Rudo, what's up, buddy?
Here you go. What's up, guys? How's it, buddy? How you guys?
The show has become like a techno show. It's like it's like going to an old school rave. You wake up in the morning, you do your gig, you start sweating.
That's how you get your brain flowing, right? Get your brain going.
Yeah. Guys, welcome. It's so cool to launch like a banter style charting show. We haven't done that before. I mean, that's super cool. Well done for coordinating, Jimmy the sound guy. Well done.
Good job, Jimmy. Good job, buddy.
Alrighty, so guys, I guess the big question this week, we've got a major options and futures close out today. I think there's just on the one exchange that I looked at, there is $1.4 billion worth of options closing at 38,600. They expire Friday 8 a.m. UTC. That's now. That just happened. Oh, it just happened. And it did expire actually at 38,600, right?
Well, the price is basically at 38,670 now.
You see, because of the point of max pain. So let's look at the charts and let's decide where we're going from here. And this is where I leave you guys to do your magic, because there's no way that I could do any of this shit.
Well, I think the first thing, Rand, obviously we've been bullish. I've been bullish as long as we haven't broken this trend. I've been bullish. We always know the importance of buying on these support trends. We know if we drop this, there can be a bearish view of where we can go next. And I think that's where I would love to hear Cheds and Rudo's opinions here, because I still don't feel they're convinced with this move and what's happened with Bitcoin. Rudo, what you thinking, buddy, before I do?
Yo, but yeah, I'm not convinced. Look, nothing goes up in a straight line, and the volume definitely does not support this. Now, this is the BLX. I'm just looking at the daily, but you, buddy, you know this by now. When we go up, volumes should support it. Volumes doing the opposite. So it's definitely not a breakout for me just yet. Not convinced, but hey, I'm enjoying the gains.
What's the BLX, Rudo?
It's a blend of all the Bitcoin prices on all the exchanges into one. So you don't get a mismatch of something. So the average price at every day close, you can only look at it on the daily, the weekly, and upwards, or from the daily upwards. But I like to chart this large time frame pictures on the BLX purely for that. Gives you a little bit of a better target.
Let's compare Sheldon's chart to your chart, and then we're going to ask Cheds to show us his chart. So Sheldon's chart is pretty clear. It says Bitcoin's hitting that trend line. Sheldon perhaps believes that it's going to bounce off that trend line. If it breaks the trend line, then he's kind of going, okay, this may be a downward move. How does that compare to your chart?
So where we are now,
pretty similar. Yeah, they look pretty similar.
Yeah, so where we are now, we knew there was rejection, yeah. One thing that we knew was a negative was the bearish divergence, the massive bearish divergence, where there's the high over there. We got higher high RSI, lower high on that. That's why we knew that we have to be making our way to that 41,500 to just break that out. And then we can, there is going to be a pullback. It's not once we said there wasn't going to be a pullback. It's about what happens after that pullback. And what my big thing is we needed to get that high. And that's why I think we can still break that high as long as we hold this trend. As long as we hold that trend, we can delete that bearish divergence. Then we can have a pullback. The only scary thing is if we didn't break that bearish divergence, the pullback can be bigger. It can be a bigger pullback, and it can take Bitcoin back to 34K, anywhere in that region. So as long as that trend has held and where we're sitting on that, and we break that 41,500, I still think we're going to go test that 200 daily moving average, which is around 44 in the next week or two. That's still my feeling.
Rudo, what the hell is that?
I left the squabbles on from last time we were here. So it's my new type of trend line. It's more organic.
More natural.
Yeah, natural organic charting, guys. Bringing it to you first.
My 2-year-old got a yellow crayon and got onto your chart.
Looks like my kid was charting that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty picture, man. It's a pretty picture. It points to pretty much the same. It's just that I'm still looking at around this target over here. So let's take some of the squibbles off from where we left off. A simple fib retracement. And when we look at where we're at, the 38.2 is probably going to be a really good target for me. I don't think we're done going up. And that's where I tend to want to agree with you, Sheldon, short term, because if we want to do this, we need to break the bearish divergence. There's no way around that. And there is a big supply zone sitting smack there. Remember, this is the perpetual futures chart. And I want the closing candles to break that. Show the bears that, their time to reign is over. And then we come back down, and I do see that if you look at the volume, where did the institutions really push this thing up? At around this level over here. So anything at around that range there, and that's going to be my buy area to try and add to my position. But first, you need to prove to me you want to keep on going up. It means delete that. So alert at 41,418. If that alert gets hit over the weekend, I'm smiling. I'll put my buy order at 37,397 and patiently wait for them to come take my money.
Okay, Cheds, you've watched the guys. What do you think?
I think it's a great team. It's an honor to be here. Hit like and subscribe. Thank you for having me.
See,
You know-
Cheds gets it. Cheds gets it.
Ah,
Cheds gets
Click
it.
like and subscribe, guys.
you know, that's called the business talk, Rand. I know about the business talk there. Look, you got to put in perspective. You know, we're in a long rectangle. We've had a beautiful bounce. We had 8 green days in a row. That ended yesterday with a true neutral doji, pretty much the same open and close. And really, we've seen this before in this consolidation channel, which is a rectangle after a move down, breaking that key support resistance level at 42, 43K, trading below the MA200. That's all the context. It's a consolidation after a bearish move down. But we had 8 green days in a row. So it bounced from the bottom of the channel to the top of the channel. It's a likely rejection area. So, you know, after eight green days in a row, you're looking for a likely rejection, somewhere to cool off. Any kind of strong uptrend is going to use an exponential moving average. I use the 8 EMA, an exponential moving average, giving more price weighting to most recent action. We haven't touched that since, July 22nd, 23rd. I put out a tweet last night right here at 40K after the doji. I said EMA 8 is at 37.9 because that's where we're going. It's going to tag the EMA 8 most likely. Now you're going to look to see if it bounces off that. If you're looking for value, you want to look for a throwback or a bullish retest of the middle of this channel. The middle of this channel, the key pivot point, which should switch me from bearish to neutral, is the recapture of the 50-period simple moving average, the MA50. That was the key warning sign on the breakdown. The first close below the MA50 back in April 19th. First time we closed below it since 8K on the way up. That's a sign I've been looking for to shift from bearish to neutral. So if you look at our key lower high break from the July 11th, 12th close, you have bullish confluence. That means a combining of support factors with that high and that MA50. That's a likely tag spot. That's where you really want to look at as a nice higher quality or higher confidence long spot if we reject up here. I do not like Sheldon's diagonal. I do like Sheldon's hair. I do like Sheldon's a nice guy, but I don't like that diagonal. It's a very aggressive diagonal, and you really don't want to base your trades on these diagonals because you're going to end up doing this, then you're going to be doing this, then you're going to be doing this, right? You want to be looking for, in my humble opinion, or maybe not so humble, some type of an exponential moving average to pull back and tag. People call me humble. I am not. My ego's out of control. That's beside the point. Look for an EMA 8 tag. Look for it to pull back.
So your EMA is priced at where? 39?
Right now it's
37,500.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, like if you go to the weekly chart, if you go back to the weekly chart when everything was just when everybody was like holding hands and saying I love you in the Bitcoin world, it was the EMA 8. 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 That's a strong uptrend we'll use as support. So you can use it on any time frame, keeping in mind that the larger the time frame, the stronger the signal. Now, the chart artist comments about volume. It's interesting, but I was reading last night about rectangles in the CMT manual, CMT2 textbook. And with rectangles, there's really not much of a sign in terms of a clue, in terms of the strength of the eventual breakout based on volumes. It's really, in these rectangles, you get a lot of false moves, a lot of premature moves, and if there's not a lot of volume, it's not a big clue actually. So the lack of volume, in my opinion, is not a big clue here. You can trade in the middle of the channel, but really you can long the bottom. You can look for a top breakout. You can maybe short the top, but we're still in a rectangle. We had a beautiful move to the top of the rectangle. We want to look for a short-term cool off, even if it's mega bullish, even if everybody's right and I've been wrong. It's going to come up. It's going to pull back. It's going to tag support, and we'll see what happens there, right? That's kind of where I'm at.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, super interesting. So, Cheds,
is that like one of those things where people say, "Yeah, that's interesting." So anyway,
I mean, look, I mean, that was a lot to take in, and you also spoke pretty quickly. But I mean, I guess what you're saying is 37.5 or 37.9. That's the target. Either we bounce off 37.5 or 37.9, or we break it downwards, right?
Yeah, I would go EMA 8, and then I know I get fast. I had coffee. Plus, I love seeing you guys. The energy is great. Look for likely spots where that uptrend is going to test a rising or a building support. And the first logical level would be the EMA 8. The second one would be some type of a lower high structure that has been broken, would be right around 34.6, 35K, and certainly MA50. That's the big level I've been watching. You get back to MA50, you want to long a retest of the MA50 if we get there.
Like we're living in a movie.
My tinglies are going off. I'm starting to get those tingles.
I love that sneaky in there.
Cheeky
one there, Sheldon.
cheeky. But Cheds, you know what? I
Yeah.
love what you're saying there, buddy, and I love what you did. What is quite weird is like you're saying with the diagonals. Can you share your chart quick, Grant? I want to show you. We actually have, yes, please. We actually have the exact same opinion on just in different ways. The bottom of my test here is 37,500. That's my trend line. Exact same thing. That if we break that level, okay, 34,000. So all that we are doing is the whole simplicity is to understand that if we break this trend, we can go. Nothing is telling us we can go to that 34 just yet. Yes, we've had one rejection candle, but nothing is telling us this momentum that we can't just shift. And reason being is obviously dominance is still playing a big favor with Bitcoin, but that's it. It's a simplicity of understanding. I put one line, we break that line, I know there's lower targets. The reason why that line is there is where do I put stop losses? Or where do I, if I did enter an hour, either as a short-term trader or medium, doesn't matter, how do I structure my trade? That's the only reason for why you are doing that. And what I love about it is non-projection, non-prediction strategy. We break that line, we go down to 34, brilliant. But at least I have a base that I can now get off my computer. I can go set that alarm in play and I can go enjoy my day. And if something breaks at that, I come to my laptop, I know what to do. So it's just about having a little structure towards what you're doing. But end of the day, we have the same thing, same as Rudo. I want us, before we break this trend, my only fight is before we break this trend, I want us to get that higher high. Because if we don't, there is a possibility that Bitcoin can go back to those lows again. I really, really think that we did quite a bit in 1 week. But if we don't break that bearish divergence and we don't finally get out of this channel that you're talking about, it's problems. It means that we have literally caught the top and it's very easily we can go back to the bottom. So
that's a risky buy.
For the bullish view to think, I want us to hold this trend. I don't want us to lose this trend just yet. Go for it.
I think it's great analysis. Also, we have to keep in mind the overhead supply, like just above, we're in a nice, anytime you think about a pattern that's completing, and let's say you were looking at, and that was nice analysis, but let's say you're looking at like some kind of random bull flag. You want to think about like what's just above it, right? In terms of your potential target, your upside. With this rectangle, I think we still have to keep in mind, I'm having a little trouble trading view here. You still want to keep in mind that we are just above this rectangle. We have that key level, 4243K, right? The support resistance flip level and MA200. So we have these, it's kind of a minefield is what I'm saying. We have that resistance, we have this resistance. So that a little bit caps the upside. Normally you would take like the height of the rectangle and project your move out, and that probably takes us to like 55K. But you've got the stuff just above. So I think it's going to be treacherous here. That being said, the weekly chart, guys, and I'm sure you all agree, it never really turned bearish. It always held the MA50.
I agree.
So it's kind of like what your time
bullish
frame.
all the way.
Yeah, we've been bullish all the way. So
bullish all the way. I haven't sold any of my long-term holdings.
So,
Jed, if you can go back to your chart, I just want to ask you something. I just want to point out something that I also saw there. And the one where you look at that average where you're looking at there, and Fred, maybe you can just flip over to my screen quickly. One thing that I don't ever want to do, and I really don't like doing at all, is buying when everybody else has bought. Now, if you look at the average volume in the visible range, that area there is right above where all the money has been spent. So for me, long-term wise, that's not a really good area to be buying. So the test of that flip support, that's where I will be adding to a position. So I never buy in the middle of a lateral range. It's too risky. So you grab it in the middle there because that's where the most of the money is spent. And then another thing, just to add in there, what I'm looking at is also, when we look at this, we tend to rush into and not take in consideration timeframes. I'm looking at this bounce there for the completion of the break of that high over there. Then only I'm looking at lower target. And then we might even shake out these people. Because the thing that you said when we jumped on the stream that I really liked is the fact that this trend is too fast. When we've got a very steep angle in the market, a steep trend like this, it's not sustainable. Anyway, you can go look at everywhere. When we want to start a trend.
Hold on. Sheldon showed us an analysis yesterday where he looked at the last 5 times, or the only 5 times in history that Bitcoin did do 8 days in a row. And we realized yesterday.
Let's get this up. Let's get that up. So this was just before this whole big move. There's the big move before the bull run. This was the last time we got 8 candles. This is similar
but
to what I'm feeling
context?
right now. Is the
We're still
little
in an
we still got up the little push out?
Isn't it different context though? Like,
yes, the context is wrong in relation to where we win a lateral pattern. There we were trending
Yeah,
up already,
yeah,
so you can't really
yeah.
compare the two.
I agree.
Look at 2013. Let's go to 2013 where the pattern was exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Exactly as I have been predicting.
I think soon we're going to get like rights, you know, they're going to want to watch.
Yeah, we're
rights.
gonna have to pay royalties on that.
Dennis, Dennis says invite
Where's that?
Dennis, Cheds is getting his own show on Crypto Banter. Cheds is officially part of the Crypto Banter family. So I don't know. I mean, Cheds is one of the Banter fam kids.
One of the Banter fam. Of course. We love Cheds. Cheds
We
is
love
the man.
you. I love
So-
you guys.
Awesome, buddy.
Yeah.
The main thing
Same
is,
thing.
guys,
We're in a trend already.
Right.
We're not in a trend at the moment, though.
Yeah.
what? We are not in a trend.
You also had October of 15. October
There's a lot of them, yeah.
2015 had also 8 candles, but it's a different context. I think you have to look at context and
Yeah, if I can bring it back to the point that I was trying to make there. Any establishment of a trend, guys, any establishment of a trend starts up with doubt. There's a slow grind, and then we start running up, and then we're going through the emotional market cycle. So think about it. If we just accelerate and shoot up from here, we don't really have that momentum kicking it back in. So if this is a lateral pattern, we need to come down, establish a trend, and with time that will gain momentum again. So we can't literally just do this and then go on. We need to create a realistic trend that supports and builds momentum, gets us out of the lateral pattern, gives us a sign of strength. Then we go. You can go and look at any long-term accumulation. That's kind of what you want to have. So in this range,
wrong.
I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry to say that. I would want to be wrong. In the end of the day, if we just shoot up, I'll be making money. The thing is not about being right, guys. It's about making money.
Saying bull run is only 2022 to 2023 is when you're saying bull run is. Because you're saying it's going to take the next year to play this range and get out of the lateral. That is, if you go to time frames,
let's have some fun.
Just grew now.
Let's have some fun.
I would like to put some Charlie 3 or something on the line here, boys. Let's make this interesting.
I don't gamble, I trade, buddy. I don't gamble, I trade.
Can I just say I don't think it's constructive to even think about 2023. You know, I like to look at one candle, maybe a couple candles ahead. I look at my weekly time frame. I think we've set our all-time high for the year. I don't think we break 64K this year. It doesn't mean we can't range and build a higher low. It doesn't mean we can't kind of continue to build the weekly chart. That's just my feeling. But like 2023, like if I'm alive next year, I'm happy. If I'm alive next week, I'm happy. Like every day is a gift, right? So 2023, we'll deal with that in 2023.
Spoken like a true cancer survivor, which of course Cheds is. Okay, so wow, there's a lot to absorb here. Both Rudo and Cheds are saying that we're not yet in this explosive bull cycle. Sheldon saying it all depends on whether we bounce off the 37.5, and then again, if we break the 37.5 downwards, then it's the 34 or 34.5 that we need to look at.
So you know why my fault? Why I'm still feeling that we still have bullish momentum to go before a decent pullback is because of the alts. Clearly, the alts is still a part of the market, and everyone thinks it's just Bitcoin. We must remember that alts still run a big section, and the alts have Bitcoin's had a pump, but the alts have they haven't had any little section that has actually had them moving. And now we can see clearly with the dominance. So this is why today, you know, Bitcoin is falling 3%, but the alts are also falling 2%, which means that the alts are also being protected. And when we are getting bearish in the market, the alts are usually not protected, which means we are still running in the bullish form that when Bitcoin is running bullish, dominance is with Bitcoin, alts are running slow. When Bitcoin turns bearish, dominance falls and they are protecting the alts. Since when? You know, previously, whenever the markets start getting really unhealthy or they don't care about the alts and everything shifts and the alts get absolutely destroyed. Where the alts have been destroyed, they have had no recent little push up or recent little, even massive retracements since we've had the pull. So until we have everything in the market showing me that it's looking really bearish, then I can start turning to that sort of form. But right now, the alts are being protected when the markets are getting bearish, which gives me a sign just of a previous...
Overextended. One thing that I just want to add in there.
Just a second. What is the chance that this was a relief bounce?
100%.
100% from my side as well.
Was the relief bounce?
100%.
And have we reached the top of the relief bounce?
Not yet.
We haven't broken my trend line. We haven't.
Yeah,
not yet. We need to break the supply.
I think until proven otherwise, yeah. I mean, you had the short-term candle signals. You had the upthrust, which was the break of that long upper shadow candle. We failed to hold that high, and then we had the doji. So that's a short-term top. It doesn't mean we can't go to whatever, in like a week or two, but definitely a short-term top.
So are you saying that on Monday we're going to be lower than we are today?
What's today? What day is today?
Friday.
I'd play like 80%. Yeah, 80% will be lower.
Okay, Rudo?
I'm flipping in the opposite direction. I reckon we're going to have a little bit of a bearish week next week. We have to ask the question, where's the money coming from? Who's buying? Where's the money coming from? And if I look at that, yeah, it's not there yet.
So there we go. There was one bearish indicator yesterday where the Grayscale premium dropped from 5.3% to 8.8%, which means that institutional money slowed down yesterday. Yesterday was the first day this week that institutional money that was flowing into the ecosystem slowed down. And I think that is also reflected in the volume yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Which one of you has volume up on their charts at the moment?
Not me.
Volume of what? What do you need the volume of?
Bitcoin volume.
Mark Rabelais. We need the Mark Rabelais volume.
I got the standard volume on the Bitcoin chart for now. Exactly that. I can see there's still no... So if we break this trend, there is going to be an increase in volume. We are going to have a quick acceleration to the downside. Definite. Simple, easy. Right now, we've had a pullback, but not massive volume. It's not a massive volume candle just yet. So for now, we have bounced. We are holding. I kind of feel we're going to... Let's have a look and see... Bullish divergence. Can anyone say bullish divergence there? Does anyone agree with me that we have bullish divergence on the 4 hour? I still believe that the temporary top is not in yet, and then there is going to be a pullback.
No, I want to break
the temporary top is not in. The temporary top's not in for me.
You don't really need volume here. It's in a channel. It's in a well-defined trading channel, and it's just going to go sideways with these beautiful eight days up and a couple days down. It's just you don't need volume here. Volume is one of the most misunderstood concepts in technical analysis. When you have an imbalance between the supply and the demand, you don't need volume because it's moving in a direction. And when you meet at a key pivot point and then there's a battle, that's where you get volume. So most of the time, there's no volume. You get volume at the beginning of the pattern, then it slowly will trail off until the pattern completes. We can look for volume as a clue upon the range break, but we're not there. We're just, we're trading in a range. We don't need volume, and it's not abnormal to not have a lot of volume here.
We need to banter over this volume a little bit more in the future, buddy.
Yeah,
I disagree with you a lot there, but I think we need to leave that for another day.
Well, hold on. Today's a good day. Just a reminder, there are 7,000 of you watching the stream. At 5,000 likes, we're going to give away 9935. Remember, 9931 is worth a lot of money. 2,600 likes. Okay, so Fred says Jimmy says there's 2,600 likes. So we need 2,000 more likes. 7,000 of you in the stream. All right, let's talk about this volume debate. Let's put this volume debate once and for all. Let's put it to bed. Rudo, Ched says if we're in a range, volume means nothing. Volume means something when we get to an inflection point, when we get to a fighting point. Rudo, what do you think?
No. Wyckoff studies clearly point to, when you're in a range, within a phase B, you use the volume to determine where the interest in the market is and where the strength in the market is. When you go up with low volume, it means there's very little interest necessarily. When you go to the critical point and there's a pivot and there's low volume on the downside, means selling pressure is running down. There's 4 types of way that the market can be moved. To the upside, you've got limit orders and you've got market executed orders. Limit orders does not necessarily spike the volume. It gobbles up the supply. It slows down the move. When you've got market executed orders, you need money. You need to keep throwing at it to get it past and be able to sustain buying pressure. Now, if you want to try and identify where the whales are trading, because what I want to do is I want to align myself with the big player. There you go. Where the whales are trading, you want to align yourself with the big players. I need to look for that volume indication showing me that somebody's market executing as opposed to limit buying. Then I want to get it.
Cheds.
You don't need volume because you have it when you're in a well-defined, like 90% of trading patterns, a bull flag, an ascending triangle, descending triangle, a falling wedge, whatever you want to call it, you get the volume at the beginning of the channel and it will slowly trail off. That's just almost always how it works. And the volume will come on an inflection point when you have an imbalance between supply and the demand. That means the price is moving in a direction. You don't need volume because there's already an imbalance. It's already got a momentum. And when the price is moving, it has momentum. You don't need volume. And in a rectangle, I was literally reading about this last night because I'm a nerd. When you're in, like, the lack of volume is non-predictive in terms of the value or the size of the move when it breaks this range. You're going to get volume at the top and the bottom. That's just classical charting. I could, Wyckoff, I don't know anything about. He's probably right. I haven't studied Wyckoff. He's probably right. He seems like a smart guy. So I'm not going to say, it's just, I do me and then I'm ready to be wrong. That's just how I operate.
I don't care about being right. It's about making money, guys. So if the buy works and I'm making money, I'm happy. And I sometimes get it wrong and I trade off Sheldon's strategy. Buddy, what are you going to do? Because mine's not working well. And that's what we do as traders. That's why you need to be a team. I think one thing that I like about what you're saying is the inflection point, because that's what I'm doing. I'm not worried and concerned about the volume in the middle of the range. That's irrelevant. It's those pivotal points there that tells me whether there's market executed buys or limit order buys changing the direction of that specific bounce within the pattern. And I think there we can agree.
Okay.
So middle ground.
if the consensus here is that Bitcoin is in no man's land until we either bounce off this line or not, then safe to say that any other calls today would be wait for Bitcoin. Has anyone seen anything in the market that says don't worry about Bitcoin? Specifically the NFT gaming stocks, the NFT gaming tokens. They've been non-correlated to Bitcoin in the last week or two, but I see today that they are correlated to Bitcoin.
I think the momentum that you had there, creates its own little micro ecosystem with its own emotional market cycle playing out. But once they start growing and they fall into the bigger scope and getting the same sort of attention that the rest of the market gets, then they start falling in line with the general market emotional, where the trend runs. So that's why we say I sometimes like when we're in a bearish or in a sideways trending market to look for those one-hit wonders because they've got their own little emotional ecosystem that you can exploit.
Okay.
So my whole little feeling about where we are and why I'm saying still a little possible higher high for Bitcoin is because I believe maybe Bitcoin's high, temporary high could be close to where it needs to be in, but I believe the alt highs are not in yet. And that's why I'm looking at Ethereum Dominance right now. And Ethereum Dominance right now, if we get this breakout, it's showing me strength in Ethereum. And if this market in Bitcoin really comes its way down, it's going to trump from Ethereum. It's going to take from all the alts. So the only way I can see that the dominance is playing right, the Ethereum dominance is playing right, is still for bullishness from the alts, which means Bitcoin is either sideways and boring for a little while in this range. And the alts still need to get that. And obviously, if this is ever since Ethereum made its all-time highs. This was the rally that took Ethereum absolutely and destroyed it. And we're very close to breaking that wedge for the next push. What's that going to do for Ethereum? That can take Ethereum, let's say, to 20% again or to 21% on dominance. And I don't see being this the view on a bearish view. I don't see it happening if Bitcoin goes back down to 31 or to anywhere those ranges. So I agree, maybe Bitcoin's not going to go too crazy and just gradual in this range. Maybe go touch that 41 somewhere, delete that divergence, and then a 2, 3, 4 days of slow downwards, bit of, take some time. But I still believe the alts highs are not in yet. I still believe there still needs to be another strong push from the alts, and that's why I'm still bullish.
Okay. Well, okay, we do have a little bit more. I don't think we should talk about the alts now because I don't think there's any. I mean, unless first of all, before we go there, Cheds, what do you think? Any chance that Ethereum could break away from Bitcoin?
I'm actually on the other side. I see Ethereum as in a descending triangle. I think Ethereum is set. And I noticed a couple of weeks ago we had that the Ethereum BTC pair had a descending triangle, which means it was set to kind of break down. I think it's a matter of interpretation. I guess I'll go ahead and pull it up. I have it on this watch list. I do. So we noticed what's called a shortfall. So we had the price on July 7th, the inability to reach that upper trend line. That's kind of a clue in classical charting that you don't have enough force to meet kind of that upper, that falling demand, the falling resistance. Let me try to say that again. I think we're in a descending triangle, and the descending triangle is formed by a clear horizontal support range and a falling supply. And a clue that we received back in July was the inability of the price to reach that trend line. That suggested to me we're probably going to break down. We've had some follow through on that. I know a lot of people are bullish. You've got like EIP. What is it, 1776 coming out, or 1949, or I just say it like that to be funny. If that's important, you'll see it in the chart. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind, right? If anything's important, it's going to show up in the chart. I think Ethereum is set to underperform Bitcoin. If I'm wrong, I'll have a point where I'll know I'm wrong pretty quickly. On this pair, obviously above that 68 point, and then you go to the ETH itself, the USD pair. Keep in mind, 2/3 of double bottoms fail. So yes, we're attempting a double bottom here, but I think my failure point on kind of the rejection may be above 2,600. So we'll know if it's not going to break down. I think Ethereum is going to underperform Bitcoin. So I'm kind of taking the other side of the trade from what the other gentleman said.
Like we're living in a
My tinglies are going off. I'm starting to get those tingles.
every time it gets the tingles.
That's where I'm at. And hey, guys, hit like and subscribe, please.
Rita, what do you think?
Yeah, I've got Ethereum over Bitcoin here on my screen, and I'm looking at that same underperforming Ethereum for me for now. I've got an area there where I reckon this is going to start migrating down. This is definitely a good sign of weakness.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna risk capital by trying to outperform an ETH trade on a Bitcoin. I'd rather just be looking at Big Daddy and
I mean,
where did the Ethereum to Bitcoin come in? It's just the Ethereum dominance, guys. Just you remember, Ethereum dominance breakout is just a leading indicator for alts. It's not talking about outperforming Bitcoin. It's just about talking about the alts.
Well, it's the same chart. It was the same chart, though. It's the same chart. You could either view as a falling wedge or a descending triangle. It's a lot of the same kind of price structure, in my opinion. And it's one of those things where it's really like your mileage may vary based on your own interpretation. I can see a falling wedge, but kind of I'm leaning more towards a descending triangle.
Well, the reason why there's a market is because some people think one thing and other people think another thing. And that's why there's buyers and that's why there's sellers. I guess only Monday will tell us. Well, actually, the weekend will tell us, and we'll meet again on Monday, and we will see who was right. We do have like 5 minutes, and I do think since we do have 3 geniuses on the stream, I'm not going to mention
Rudo tapping over there.
I do think that we got 3 geniuses on the stream, and I do think that this is a good chance for the community to ask questions. So if anybody does have any questions, we'll let the super chats go first. Oh, okay. So if you want Cheds' book, no. If you want to be as smart as Cheds, you got to read as much as Cheds reads. And you see, that's how much Cheds reads. If you want that book, you see that book over there. It's called Trading Wisdom. Uncle Run is buying the Banter Fam 10 Trading Wisdom books today. So Uncle Run is going to buy from his own money to the Banter Fam 10 books. No, Cheds will give us a link. You can buy it off Amazon, right, Cheds?
Yes, sir. Amazon, Kindle and paperback. There's also a free version on my YouTube channel. I have the first 4 chapters up there, Cheds Trading.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to buy the Banter Fam 10, but because we're running out of time, I'm going to do it in the next show. So you'll give us 10 promo codes. I'll pay you for them, and I'm going to buy the Banter community 10 of Cheds' book. If you want to buy Cheds' book anyway, there's a description in the YouTube link. Now, the Banter Fam made Cheds' book a bestseller.
Yeah,
we destroyed it. And I think that if you don't read this book, I think you're missing out on a massive opportunity because everybody that's read it, Actually, didn't I give the community a money back guarantee? I did.
Yeah, you did.
The money back guarantee stands. If you buy Cheds Book and you don't enjoy it, you send me a message. You say, I didn't enjoy Cheds Book. I'll send you the money for the book.
Oh, I love you, man.
I think that's fair. That's how
I see
confident
we
I am.
only need 1,300 likes for that. Our bull, what is it? 9935. Guys, we're so
9935.
close. Today is the best chance for it to happen. It's happened 2 days now where we did not get it. Today it can happen.
Okay,
Come
we've got Darsh, who wants to come to Bantu Crypto School. Yeah, we haven't selected for Bantu School yet, for Sniper School yet. The Proof wants Cheds' trading book. Come to the next show because we don't have time to select winners on this show. We will see you guys again in a few hours. A big banter. And also, I'm going to tell you why it's too late for Bitcoin. It's just too late. I'm going to tell you why later. Is there a tile for that? Coming soon. Okay, so it's too late. It just is too late. And you'll know what I'm talking about if you watch the later show. So we will see you guys again later. And the rest of them will see you on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend, guys, and trade well.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, it was awesome. I love you guys.
Yeah.